Oh, hello. Welcome back. Issue 57 of Warhammer Imperium. It's a Tombblade. It's our second Tombblade. So let's crack it open. Oh, it looks like we're getting a tri-folded disc as well. Ta-da. Right, now, I'm not worried about this flying stand. We'll come on to that in a bit. And I'll show you what I did. We'll have a look at the plastic momentarily. Let's have a look at Imperium 57. So here we go, War Zones 02, Electia. So, yeah, nice little map of the planet there. That's quite nice. Various districts, etc. are called out separately. Nice. Some of the Necron models that we've got in the last 20 issues, and then obviously some of the sisters models that we've got in the last 20 issues. But yeah, a little bit about War Zones 02 for your red section. We've got a nice picture of Saint Celestine on the front, and it does say read about Saint Celestine. So Tombblade build and paint guides, choosing your army list. So here we go, Saint Celestine. She's a bit of a beast in combat. She can be resurrected potentially resurrected after she's been killed. And her Gemini, I believe, can take some of her damage, if I remember rightly. Her sword, I think it's called the Ardent Shroud, can obviously fight, but it can also shoot, and it's the armor penetration on that is, yeah, pretty lethal. I think it's a -4 if I remember rightly. I haven't got my sister's codex to hand straight away, but there you go. Nice bit of artwork here. So when the Fall of Cadia campaign was launched, she was initially launched in a box set of 3 characters of Belisarius Cawl, Inquisitor Greyfax and Celestine. I think it was one of the triumvirate of Cadia or something like that. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but yeah, really nice. I do want to get myself a Cawl and Greyfax minis. Reborn and Reborn Again, Divine Champion. So more war zones here. Sithosa, Warzone Vigilus, Space Marines at Sithosa. We've got Fire Lords and Mantis Warriors. Mantis Warriors are successors of the White Scars, but the Fire Lords are an unknown origin. We then got information on the Death Watch. These are our Xenos hunters. So they create kill teams to hunt out Xenos species and infestations. Have special issue war gear, and they might be allowed to get away with other pieces of war gear that might otherwise be seen as heretical. We have non-militant orders, Adeptus Sororitas support. Oops, sorry, not it. So this is going to be your Hospitaller, Orders Dialogus, Orders Famulus, and Orders Pronatus. So various orders. The individual models that you can get representing these can give different buffs to your sisters on the battlefield. We then have our build for the Tombblade, and then a quick how to paint for the Tombblade. I do believe that each one of these is going to have a different weapon system. So you're going to have one of each of the 3 potential weapon systems that you can use. Now, I did try and look at magnetising these, but looking at the way that they are built, with each weapon system being located in different parts of the model. So, for example, these Gauss blasters here, or Reaper cannons or whatever they are mounted at the front, whereas these some sort of heat ray are mounted on arms towards the rear. So I just think magnetising that would have been an absolute pain in the backside, which is why I haven't done it. I will just accept and build as per the destructions and go for 1 each. Forcing a breach. So initiate mission 18. Necron invasion articles of Electia has left a swath. Sorry, the Necron invasion of Electia has left a swathe of destruction across the moon. Necron legions have now reached the outer walls of the Basilica of St. Martius. Their probing attacks have detected a series of weak points in the fortifications. By attacking and detonating explosive devices in these key areas, they may force a breach in the Basilica's walls and hasten the demise of Imperial forces within. Necrons, Scorpec Lord. The Necrons must force a breach in the Imperium's defensive perimeter. In order to do so, they will first have to exploit the weaknesses they have discovered and storm the breach before the Imperium can rally its defenders to hold the line and drive the numberless hordes back into no man's land. Imperium Canoness, hold your ground. As the senior officer in charge of the Basilica's defence, the Canoness finds herself tasked with rallying the Adeptus Sororitas, Adeptus Astartes and Adeptus Mechanicus defenders and buying time for Tech Priest to secure the walls to aid her in this task. She may draw upon the best forces from each allied faction. So again, you're getting a choice of army lists this time around, and obviously you've got a choice of HQ, and with the Imperium units as well. So Canoness, Tech Priest Dominus, Tech Priest Engine Seer, and then obviously 2 different army lists. And then breach the walls. Initiate mission. Refer to rules reference mission briefing. Necrons must secure weak points in the fortress, foundations, and place explosives. The Imperium must secure these positions and seal all cracks and breaches before the Necrons can bring their heavy guns to bear. Forces in play: Necron Royal Warden, Scorpec Lord, Plasmancer, and either Army List 1 or Army List 2. And then the Imperium, you have the Canoness, Tech Priest Dominus, Tech Priest Engine Seer, and then either Army List 1 or Army List 2. So it looks like you're using 2 of the pale grey battle mats. You're deploying on opposites of the short edges of the battlefield, and it looks like there's 4 objective markers on this battlefield. So there you go. Let me quickly bring you down and we'll have a look at the plastic. So yeah, this is it. 2011 sculpt from Games Workshop. I believe that these are all exactly the same, regardless that there's unlike some, like with the Wraiths, the tails are different. These are all exactly the same model. So yeah, there you go. And it builds up into a mini like this. Now it's provided with a flying base, a small flying base, which I didn't really think was going to be strong enough for a Tombblade. So I've picked out one of my spare 50mm bases and placed it on that. And because there's 2 reasons I've done this. One, I think it's going to be top heavy, which means that it would be easier to topple over. Okay, so I mean you can see the wobble that it's got there already. So if you were like fighting on a slope or something, it's not going to take much effort to flip it over. So I've given it a wider base, and the wider base gives me a much more stable platform, but also it allows me to put more weight on it as well. So for I don't always do it, but I try and add in stones, etc., onto a base if it's got a top heavy model, so that it's less likely to get knocked over. I mean, I have to literally force it right, a much steeper angle, and this will give you much more stability with your model when you're playing over the battle zone. But yeah, it's a nice little kit. It makes up quite well. We'll do a little quick and easy paint scheme for it because we've already done a build video, and we'll take it from there. So join me in a sec. Hey ho. Right, so we have our built Tombblade here, as per the instructions that are in issue 57. I have built and then sprayed, let's put some light on, with a black spray, and then what I've done is I've used a watered down Abaddon black in order to just go over and make sure that I have a consistent coat of paint. Now the majority of this model is actually going to be black, so I'm going to pretty much leave it here as is for a lot of the parts. However, I'm going to change some bits and pieces. So the spine in here, the spine which goes all the way up there, is going to be gunmetal or lead belcher. The Necron is obviously going to be lead belcher. I'm going to put some lead belcher on the trim vanes, and I might pick out some other spots as well, but the exhaust nozzles here are going to be painted with lead belcher as well. I may even paint this ball joint here lead belcher, but I think that's probably all I'm going to do really for these miniatures with regards to how much lead belcher silver paint I use. And then obviously from there what I will do is I will use Caliban green, moot green, etc. to add in edge highlights on the black, and I will paint certain things white in order to then put on the Tesseract glow, and take it from there. So let's crack the lead belcher out, and because this is pretty much going to be put on with a medium-sized brush, I'm not going to worry too much about a wet palette to begin with. They do so also with some wet palettes, they do turn around and say don't put metallics on the parchment, but we're going to use some lead belcher, and I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to do that bit. The Necron is going to get some lead belcher, and then this spine, this internal spine on the Tombblade is going to get lead belcher as well. So I'll probably need to do a couple of coats because I'm going over a black undercoat, but come back and hopefully these bits will be completed. Okay, so I've done all the lead belcher I'm going to do, and I am making a start on putting some whitish, it's actually a pale grey. I'm using Orthwin grey because I find it covers better than white, and I put this down so that I get a better effect from when I put on Elysian Green and Tesseract Glow. Those are mainly the two greens that I use. So I'm currently just going around doing all the orbs that I want to have the Necron glow. So there's one there, there's this one here that the pilot is plugged into, so that's going to get done, and then I'm also going to just do these two bumps on the front here, and these essentially, I think I'm not going to worry too much about what the hands are on, because I think they're going to be a bit too difficult to get to. I made the mistake of gluing on the front, the hand guard here, same sort of thing that you see on motorcycles really, over the handlebar grips to help stop the wind from chilling, although what they need them for I do not know. But yeah, the other thing I'm going to do is we've got some cables that come down out of the spine for the machine, and I'm going to just, a couple of those are going to be quite bright green, so again I'm going to use this so that I can layer on the green and get a better result, better colour result. So that is going to be about it really on the power orb front for these. So once I've done that and these are dry, we'll come back and the I'll put the pale bright green on. You can see what I did for that. Next up, I'm going to use Caliban green to just paint in the other cables. So we've got two cables left that weren't painted. Actually, 3 cables. Tell a porcupine. So all of those just getting Caliban green. And they're the only cables that I'm going to do Caliban green, and that's what we're looking at so far with regards to our Tombblade. Right, Moot green. I'm going to use this to base the power orbs, and the power cables that I want to be this colour. So those that I've put the Orthwin grey on will receive a coat of this, and then obviously the power orbs, and then these bits at the front as well. So come back in a sec And these should be done. Something I'm also going to do, just using the moot green, is I'm just going to try and overbrush the calligraphy, Necron calligraphy in the recessed panels here, so that they stand out. And it stands out just like that. You can see that on the paneling, and I'll do that on the other side as well. So what I have done is I've gone round. I've also added in green to these weapons as well, just to help break it up. But this is how we're looking at the moment. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is non-oil all the silver. So you can never have too much non-oil. Oops, if I get the right pot. And I'm going to use a medium-ish brush to apply this. And I'm going to start with the spine here. And avoid the green that I've just painted. And just come down and start on our Necron pilot. And obviously the trim veins. So I'm just going to carry on doing this until I'm done. So this is your Tombblade after painting, and this is as far as I'm going to take it in this particular episode. We do have one more Tombblade to come, and when I get that one we'll start detail painting the Tombblade and adding in some highlights, etc. But as a battle ready paint scheme, you can go with that without too many issues. Okay, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.